In the shadow of the Dead Sea, nestled in a fertile plain that seemed kissed by heaven itself, lay the twin cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Their beauty was the stuff of legends, their wealth envied by neighboring regions. Their lush gardens and thriving trade routes attracted people from far and wide, drawn by the promise of prosperity and ease. But beneath the veneer of prosperity and allure, a sinister darkness festered. These cities were not just thriving, they were unraveling, their moral fabric torn apart by unchecked indulgence and brazen defiance of all that was good. Imagine a place where the very essence of compassion was scorned, where hospitality, a sacred duty in ancient times, had been replaced by predation. Strangers were not welcomed, they were exploited, mocked, or worse. Acts of kindness were rare and often viewed as weakness. The poor and the weak were trampled underfoot, their cries drowned by the deafening revelry of the powerful. Sexual immorality ran rampant, crossing every boundary of decency and nature. Relationships became transactional, and intimacy was stripped of sacredness, reduced to a tool of domination and excess. The prophet Ezekiel later summarized their sins. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and needy. They were haughty and did detestable things before me. Therefore I did away with them as you have seen. Ezekiel 16 verses 49 to 50. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah had grown proud, believing they were untouchable, their wealth and might insulating them from accountability. If you're captivated by this journey through the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support helps us share these timeless stories and their lessons with even more people. Let's keep the conversation going. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. They reveled in their sin, not just committing wrongs but celebrating them openly, turning evil into spectacle. Amid this moral decay lived Lot, Abraham's nephew, a man who had chosen the plains of Sodom for their lush pastures. Initially, Lot's decision to settle near Sodom may have seemed practical, even shrewd. The fertile lands promised abundance for his flocks, and proximity to the city offered trade opportunities. But as time passed, it became clear that Lot had placed himself in the heart of spiritual darkness. Lot was no stranger to the city's corruption, but he struggled to navigate a world where his values clashed with the prevailing culture. He sought to live righteously but was increasingly isolated, his attempts to uphold morality often met with scorn. When two angelic visitors arrived at his home, their presence became a flashpoint for the city's depravity. The men of Sodom surrounded Lot's house, demanding that the visitors be handed over to satisfy their lusts. The mob's actions revealed the depths of their corruption, not just immorality, but violence and a complete lack of respect for the sanctity of life. Lot's response was desperate and flawed, offering his daughters instead, but it underscored the impossible moral dilemmas he faced in a city where evil had become normalized. The angels intervened, blinding the mob and urging Lot and his family to flee. This story reminds us of the powerful lessons hidden in ancient texts, lessons that still resonate today. If you're finding this insightful, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And don't stop there, drop a comment below and tell us how this story speaks to you personally. We'd love to hear from you. As dawn broke, the angels led Lot, his wife, and their daughters out of the city with an urgent command: flee for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Genesis 19 verse 17. The urgency in their words was a reflection of the divine judgment about to unfold. Lot and his family fled, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that the cities they had known were about to be destroyed. And then, it came a rain of sulfur and fire from the heavens, consuming Sodom, Gomorrah, and all who had chosen to remain within their gates. The destruction was total, a cataclysm that wiped away every trace of the city's former splendor. Lot's wife, overcome with longing or disbelief, looked back and became a pillar of salt, a haunting reminder of the cost of clinging to a corrupt world. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not just ancient history, it is a prophetic warning to every generation. Look around, and you may see echoes of those cities in our world today. Unbridled greed, the marginalization of the vulnerable, the celebration of immorality, and the erosion of justice, are these not hallmarks of a society on the brink? Modern culture often mirrors the arrogance and indulgence of Sodom, dismissing the divine in favor of self-made morality. The rise of technologies and comforts has brought prosperity, but also a numbing apathy toward the plight of others. Compassion is increasingly seen as optional, and the lines between right and wrong are blurred by relativism. The relentless pursuit of pleasure, power, and self-gratification blinds us to the consequences of our actions, just as it did to the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah. Furthermore, like Sodom, there is a growing tendency to normalize sin, turning it into entertainment or a badge of defiance. The cries of the oppressed are often ignored, drowned out by the noise of distraction and indulgence. Injustice thrives when the powerful prioritize their desires over the needs of the weak. Lot's story is one of hope amid despair, of a righteous man striving to remain faithful in a fallen world. It is a reminder that even in the darkest places, there is a chance to choose differently, but it is also a sobering tale of judgment of a God who is patient but not indifferent, loving but just. The question is, how will we respond? Will we be like Lot, striving to uphold righteousness even when it costs us? Or like his wife, caught between salvation and nostalgia for a world doomed to fall? Will we heed the warning signs, or will we dismiss them as ancient tales with no bearing on our modern lives? Sodom and Gomorrah may be long gone, but their lessons remain urgent. They call us to examine our lives, our communities, and our world, to turn from destruction and toward the light. They challenge us to be voices of righteousness in a culture that often prizes convenience over conviction. The message of Sodom and Gomorrah is more relevant than ever. Let's spread this wisdom far and wide. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with friends. And if something here resonates with you, leave a comment below. Your voice matters, and we want to hear your reflections. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not merely a tale of fire and brimstone, it is a profound reflection on the consequences of moral decay and the redemptive power of turning back to what is good. It invites each of us to examine the paths we tread and the values we uphold. Are we building a legacy of righteousness or clinging to a world that offers fleeting pleasures but inevitable ruin? If this narrative has stirred something within you, whether a call to action, a moment of reflection, or a desire to share the message, don't let it end here. There's so much more to explore, so many lessons to uncover. Subscribe to this channel and join our journey of faith, discovery, and inspiration. Together, we can delve deeper into stories like these, finding wisdom for today and hope for tomorrow. Let's make the choice to turn toward the light and walk the path of redemption. Your journey starts now. Subscribe and take the first step.